is, three-time All-Pro safety. Gosh, they didn't even let me introduce you properly. Just popped you on the screen, as you deserve. You are the co-host of In the Bayou with Tyrann Mathieu. And we kicked it off from Sao Paulo to Thanksgiving, Baltimore. What are the vibes for Madden?
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I see I got the rust out, got the little cobwebs out, so I'm looking forward to it.
What are you a Madden guy? Do you play? Tell me more about that.
I mean, I'm not a big gamer. Obviously, I got sons, 13 and 12, so they all into it. So sometimes I have no choice but to give in and play a little bit.
I love that. It's going to be the Bengals at the Ravens in a big game because it looks like Joe's going to play. Let's get into this. Joe, a full participant in practice for the second straight day. You and I will be there as part of the Madden takeover of this game with boosting people's ratings. Me and Ocho will be there freezing our butts off. In Baltimore, you, Kurt Benkert, Paul Burmeister on the Peacock side of things for this amazing cast that we get to be a part of. It's so fun. And it's positive. We get to help guys out with their Madden rating, which everybody loves. So Joe's back at practice, Tyrann, for a second straight day. He seems ready to return. The team is 3-7. In your eyes, do we like that he's coming back? What's the vibe?
I mean, I get it. That's Joe Burrow, and obviously, man, he's a solid dude, a guy of great character, and I think he wants to earn his money. But if I'm the organization, I'm looking at this season and I'm saying, man, it didn't go our way. Joe already got hurt. Right? Do we want to risk that again? And then, too, I look at that Bengals team, and they still a couple of players away. So, if I was them, I'd be trying to, get me a top 10 draft pick or, something along those lines so I can get, some better players around Joe. But, man, Joe's a competitor, so I can't see him not, playing if he's healthy enough to play.
Last night, I'm watching this game, watching Stingley do his thing, right? And he did not allow one single catch. What makes you giggle about that?
I mean, that's DBU. That's DBU, and especially Stingley, man. Because he didn't have it easy. When he first came in the league, he struggled a bit, and so to kind of see him, take his place amongst some of the best cornerbacks in the game, man. Very very reminiscent of Patrick Peterson and my old Arizona Cardinals days.
Peacock streaming the EA Sports Madden NFL cast on Thanksgiving. You'll be part of that. So if you could pick one DB to control for a full game right now, who would that be?
I mean, it has to be Kyle Hamilton, right?
So good.
He reminds me so much of myself, man. Although he's like 6'3", and he got all the physical attributes, but yeah, man, like he's a guy you can put all over the field. He can play at all three levels. Obviously he could come off the edge blitzing. I think last week he got a sack right up the middle. So definitely he's a guy that can tackle and cover too. So he'll be the guy. He'll be my X factor.
He's only a 92. Are you going to talk to Chad about that on Thanksgiving? Come on, 92.
Yeah, man. I think that's a little low for him. I think he's at least a 94, 95.
He had a kick in the game. He kicked the ball after the game last week. He's such a Destructicon, and I love it. Did you watch last night's game at all?
I did not.
Okay, so I can tell you the tale of what happened. This Texans defense did its thing, and we're super, super amazing. Bills fans calling out the offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, this morning. It's still a top 5 offense in the league. What do you make? What is your temp check on the Buffalo Bills this season?
Man, to be honest, man, it seemed like they're a really good team. They're well coached, but I guess they kind of get in these moments, especially against really good teams, and they're just not quite able to put it off late. I think the thing with me, man, is the Bills. I think Josh Allen, he's a great player. I think he's at times, man, he's just so reckless. Like he's always trying to make a play, and sometimes it results in negative plays. Sometimes it results in fumbles. Now you're getting your team behind the sticks, turnovers. I think if he was to play just a little bit more careful, man, I think the Bills will be all right going forward.
This is not going to go over well on Twitter because I feel like Josh Allen cannot be criticized. Like, I don't know. Are you calling him reckless and it being? But I mean, how do you even minimize that, or is that just a part of his game that you take? Like, he had 2 picks last night. He got sacked 8 times. He said, "I have to be better." But it does always seem like it's about Joe Brady. It's about it's about everything. But maybe him. I don't think it's coming from him. I think he's saying, "I know I need to be better." But I mean, he lost 70 yards in sacks yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is the football.
Yeah.
And if you're giving it to the other team, are you putting your own offense behind the sticks? You're only making life harder, and tougher, on the guys around you. So, obviously, man, he's an MVP talent, and he's great, right? I played with Patrick Mahomes, right? And he'll run around all day until he finds something open. And so we have to live and we have to die with that.
I feel like this wasn't happening as much last year when he won the MVP, but they might figure it out. But we should give love to the Texans, because this was a great night for your former squad. They're 6-5. They're a half game out of the playoffs, a half game, Tyrann. How much postseason stock are you buying in Houston right now? C.J. Stroud should come back, doesn't know for sure, but could be next week.
I mean, I don't know. I hope they get in, man, because the way they play defense is the way that you want to be able to play defense. And, the thing I like the most, man, is, this team has had some issues this season, obviously staying healthy, but, they have a defensive-minded head coach, right? And that's what you want to see. Like, even when your teams aren't winning or aren't playing as good as you think they could play, are you doing the things well that you do well? And so those guys have been playing great defense, and I think that's given this team, some life, going forward, especially in the back half of the season.
3-0 with a backup quarterback. Not too shabby. He's got to do something for the confidence of that team, too.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Yeah, shout out to Davis Mills. We'll see if they get in. I brought you here today, not just to talk about Madden, Tyrann. I don't even know. Do I ask you how to fix the Chiefs? Do I ask you to tell me the Chiefs aren't broken? Can you give me your feeling on your Kansas City Chiefs?
I mean, my gut feeling is that, those guys will figure it out. I mean, they always do. And so, obviously, man, like they've never lost this many games at this time of the season. But, I trust 15. I trust Mahomes, and I trust Coach Reed, and I trust Spags, too. And I think, once all 3 of those guys get back on the same just wavelength, I think this team is still tough to beat. Like, every team that's playing them is going into the game with their very best game plan. And so I think the Chiefs they got to realize that they're still kind of top dog, even though they didn't win it last year. Teams are still gunning for them. There's
an article I saw, this headline, that Andy, the game's passing him by, and Andy should retire. What would you like to say?
I mean, you see a lot of foolish and ignorant things, all over the internet nowadays. Man, Coach Reed, man, actually, I was just in KC maybe a couple weeks ago, and Coach Reed, him and his grandson plays on my son's football team.
Okay.
And so,
cool.
I say all that to say, man, like that dude still moves around, like he's still living his best life. And I mean, the idea of him not, just being up to par, I mean, that's crazy. I don't. Who said that?
I don't know. It was some terrible. Of course, leave it to Kansas City to try to run out the greatest coach of all time out of their city before all is said and done. But I will say, I want you to, I would love to know why it's not working. Help me. You're the smartest guy I know. These one-score games, they were winning. They're not winning them. Are we saying that they can't, get up for these regular season games anymore? Are we saying, what is not working? It does not feel right. Even me, who, I have faith in 15, but without saying I trust that they'll figure it out, how are they going to figure it out? Why are you laughing?
At the end of the day, it comes down to players making plays, right? And, I know Patrick feels the same, right? It's a lot of throws that he's making that he's accustomed to making in the past that he just isn't making now. And so, if he's able to kind of make those plays, a lot of these games is a different game. And obviously, Kelsey, he's getting up in age, and he's usually he was, right, that clutch player for them, right? You can count on him, especially in the fourth quarter and critical situations. And, they just got to find a way. They got to find a way to, continue to put their best players in positions to to make plays and not just relying on Patrick to, figure it out.
I mean, they're still a top 5 defense. I don't know that they look like it. I hope Spags and them can figure it out. Mahomes said that defenses are playing more man coverage against them, which we're all seeing, but they haven't been able to capitalize on deep shots. From your perspective, like, what is holding them back from landing those, from exploiting those downfield opportunities?
I think it's just timing. I think it's timing. And this receiver group, in particular, I mean, what do they probably play 4 or 5 games together in total? And so, it's kind of still an experiment, And so I think those guys need to find a way to step up and kind of carve their role out as well, because, 4 or 5 years ago, it was absolutely, no discussion on who was the deep threat on the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And it was Tyreek Hill. And so I think between Worthy and obviously Hollywood Brown, I think those guys need to just kind of step it up a little bit, as far as, just doing what they're good at. Those guys can run, let them run.
Still building chemistry in week 12. That's not going to land well on Twitter. But it's a good point. Like, they've been in and out. It's true.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't been able to develop. So does that mean they can? If we take a look at maybe even just the Super Bowl odds or whatever the control wants to whip up here, maybe just the AFC, the West, obviously, I think impossible at this point. They're like 4 games back of the team they just lost to. Do we like them for a Super Bowl winner? How much confidence do you have?
Oh, man, I tell you, man, at this point, I'd just be happy, if those guys were kind of able to punch a ticket, in the playoffs. I think that, the AFC West in particular, between the Chargers and the Broncos, like these teams are they're really drafting and scheming to beat the Chiefs. And so I guess they kind of won the early battle, but it's still some season left, and nevertheless, man, if the Chiefs were to get in the playoffs, they'll still be a very, very dangerous team.
And it gives all this opportunity for these other teams that must feel psyched, right? Like they're like watching the team that haunted them, the scary team, the one that we always feel like we'll figure it out. Like, that must do things to the Bills, to even like the Texans, like we're talking about, and even the Patriots, who are crushing. Are you in on Drake May? What do you make of him?
I like Drake May. I like Drake May. Well, I like how he stands in the pocket. I like that he pushes the ball down the field. And he seems to have a rapport, with those receivers, between Pop Douglas and, obviously Stephon Diggs. I mean, he's throwing, even my guy from LSU, Keyshawn, right? Like these guys are making big time plays, man, down the field. And that's exciting for a young quarterback, man, knowing that, I got 3 or 4 guys out there that I could throw up these balls to, and they're going to come down with most of them. So I'm excited about him, and I'm more excited about his head coach as well. Like, I just think that's just like such a perfect marriage between VRABEL and all those guys that he brought in on his staff as well.
What's impressing you in the NFL right now? You're seeing those MVP odds. Matthew Stafford's on there. He's certainly popping. But on defense, offense, you mentioned Kyle Hamilton. It doesn't have to be on this list, but tell me something in the NFL that is impressing you.
Right now, I mean, it had to be Jonathan Taylor. I mean, that's like, he gives me like LaDainian Tomlinson vibes, like Sean Alexander vibes, right? Like, man, you could just book him for 20 touchdowns and 1,1700 yards. I love the way he plays the game, and I love how that team just kind of puts it on his back, in crunch time, and he's been able to deliver for him. But I think the type of season he's having, along with, obviously Josh Allen and Mahomes not having the greatest season, this might be his chance to really cement himself for MVP. So hopefully he could bring it back to the running backs position. Chiefs
-3.5 against the Colts. Can Spags stop Jonathan Taylor?
Oh, man.
You walked into that one.
That's tough. That's tough. I tell you, because when I was with the Chiefs, right, we weren't really a great run defense. And it seems as of late, they've become a really, really good run defense.
Stop Saquon in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and so I trust Spags. I think he probably haven't slept, all week, just thinking about it. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun challenge. It's definitely gonna be a fun challenge.
When you saw Andy, did you get the sense from him like, we're fine, we'll figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, anytime I, see Coach Reed, man, like I think he kind of offers some sense of like stability,
Mm.
and so yeah, like I'm never like second guessing that guy. Like things happen sometimes. Like every season isn't gonna go the way you work for, especially in the off season, right? Like things happen and it doesn't go your way sometimes. So yeah, but I'm not like down and out like on the Chiefs. Because I know at the end of the day, they have what a lot of teams don't have. They have a great quarterback, they have a great offensive mind, right, and they have a great defensive mind.
Yes. But
And
that's
so
what's
for
so
me,
frustrating because you're talking about them punching it. You'd be happy if they punched a ticket. You said that and my heart dropped. Like,
yeah, I
right?
mean, just because it's a tough division,
Yeah.
right? Like, and the Broncos and Chargers, for the most part, they've
Yeah.
they've handled their business, So they definitely made it a little harder on the Chiefs, but yeah, like I can't ever like I got this Super Bowl ring like over there, like I can't, like I can never bet against them.
Of course. Tyrann, you launched a new podcast this week. What? Congratulations to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Thank you,
addressed the
thank you.
LSU head coaching opening in episode 1, which we love. And you can get new episodes every Tuesday. It's you and like your best friend, your lifelong friend. It's not just about sports,
Yeah.
it's life, it's culture. And it's very, I understand, like New Orleans perspective. Tell me about that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the idea of, just kind of taking people back down to the South. And, I know everybody had different experiences. But yeah, I mean, it's with one of my childhood best friends, a guy that I've been knowing for, 20 plus years. And so, but it's all Louisiana, right? Like we're trying to highlight community. We're trying to highlight culture, obviously talk about football and LSU and the Saints and the Pelicans and everything, right? So, we're just trying to bring people into like our everyday conversation, and hoping people could kind of gravitate to it, and hoping a lot of these kids are inspired by it, really.
And I want to hear, maybe you'll get some behind the scenes of the Madden situation because you'll be all over that broadcast from the studio. It's EA Sports Madden NFL cast for Bengals Ravens. It's streaming exclusively on Peacock. I'll be there with Ocho Cinco. Do you have any advice for me? How do I like keep Ocho Cinco, off the field? How do I keep him off the field?
I mean, I mean, that's a challenge in itself,
Yeah.
So, look, just let him do his thing and you do your thing.
No.
Don't even worry
As the
about
great
it.
defensive player you are, how can I how could I attack him from an X's and O's perspective to get him to like not be sitting on the bench next to, John Harbaugh?
Yeah, I mean, for him, man, like he's a competitor, so you could find something to compete with him against. He's gonna run to it.
I know it. Okay, I will see you then next Thursday. I don't know when you're spending your Thanksgiving with your family, but I know it'll be great. Congrats on the podcast, and we will see you on Madden NFL Cast on Peacock.
Thanks, Kate. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Good luck to those Chiefs.